In August 2020, the Iowa derecho devastated the region with wind gusts of 140 miles per hour. Near its peak, nearly 500,000 customers were without power. It took weeks before the power grid was completely restored. While the storm was devastating, a different kind of storm, one originating from 93 million miles away, has the capability of doing much worse over a much larger area.
We've actually created a vulnerability unlike anything else. Why? Because of our reliance on technology for everything we do.
Constant weather impacts from the sun are being monitored at the Space Weather Prediction Center in Boulder, Colorado, North America's premier forecasting entity for solar storms. A low probability but high impact solar storm could have significant impacts on the power grid here on Earth and satellites in Earth orbit, technology we depend on for daily life as we know it at a high financial cost.
If we lose the power in a city, in any moderate-sized city in this nation, we're measuring the effects very quickly in billions. Now, you take out power in a large section of the country and leave us without power in that area for extended period of time, and I'm talking not just hours or days, but weeks. It can quickly escalate into what may indeed be $1 trillion impact.
Our best defense is better monitoring of the sun and better forecasting of these rare, powerful solar storms.
Down here on the lower part of the vehicle is what we call a sun pointing platform.
Part of the United States' $10 billion investment in a new fleet of weather satellites includes specially designed instrumentation to look at the sun and the effects it generates here on Earth. The Lockheed Martin built GOES-U, a fourth and final satellite in this generation, is very similar to its sibling satellites that came before it, but with one new, important instrument called the compact coronagraph. This instrument specifically looks at solar storms coming at the Earth.
For our sun pointing platform, the GOES team had to go redesign that, the whole platform, and change where you're putting boxes, change where you're putting harnesses. We had a mock-up that we did, and we worked through spacing, we worked through testing, all well in advance of actually getting the instrument here and putting it on.
And there's totality.
To understand how this new coronagraph instrument works, let's go back to the 2017 total solar eclipse that was visible in the United States. The eclipse made the atmosphere of the sun, called the corona, visible to those on Earth as the bright light of the sun was blocked. This new instrument creates an artificial eclipse 24/7 for a camera that can watch for solar storms generated by a solar flare.
The thing that causes those solar flares are these sunspots, and they're very large, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
The moment a solar flare generates a storm, as seen by these satellite warning systems, plans are put into action to save the infrastructure we depend on here on Earth.
We're on the phone right away calling the power grid operators to get that information into their hands immediately so they start taking action to protect the grid. So that spacecraft out there is our sentinel. It's our buoy out there in space, and we rely on it. It's critical.